Hello, we are covering law of sines in this video. It's broken into two parts, but the second part is just an example of a word problem. So if you want to see one done, then you can watch part two. If you don't, then you can skip it. Okay, so this is 7.1, law of sines. And hopefully you are keeping up with the homework and checking in for attendance. Okay, so before we start with law of sines, let's just kind of recall what it means to solve the triangle. Okay, so you used to get a problem that would say solve the right triangle. And what that means is you have to find all of the missing parts. Okay, so find all missing sides and angles. Okay, so and you're usually given the following. Sometimes you're given a triangle, sometimes you're just given measurements. Okay, so here you have your right triangle. And suppose that this is A, B, C. And suppose this is 3 and this is 5. Okay, so you would need to find all of the missing sides. So first of all, we have 3 angles, angle A, B, and C. And then you have 3 sides. The side opposite angle A is little a. The side opposite angle B is little b. And then we have little c. All right, so we already know that angle C is 90 degrees. We also know that little b is 5. And we also know that little a is 3. Okay, so we would need to find all of these other things. Okay, so we would need to find angle A, angle B, and side C. All right, so given these pieces of information here, we could solve for C using Pythagorean theorem. So here. So we find C by doing A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And we get 3 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. And we get 9 plus 25 equals C squared. So we get 34 equals C squared. So we get square root 34 equals C. Okay. So little c, I'll put those answers in purple. So square root 34. Okay. And then now once you have these here, we can start working on the angles. We know C is 90 degrees. We're also given these two. We're given, if we're trying to figure out angle A, we know the opposite and the adjacent side. So if I want to find angle A, then I could use tangent, right? Tangent of angle A is opposite, which is 3, over adjacent, which is 5. And then I can solve for A. So A is tangent inverse of 3 over 5. And if you punch that into your calculator, make sure you're in the degree mode. And we get 30.96. Okay. So let me go ahead and fill that in. 30.96. Okay. And then B, angle B. Well, now you could do it one of two ways. You could use tangent inverse, right? Tangent of B equals 5 over 3. So you could use this method, or you could use you could just use the fact that all the angles add up to 180, and so just subtract angle A and angle C from 180. All right, so B equals tangent inverse of 5 over 3. And so this is approximately equal 59.04 degrees. Okay, so let me put that down. So once you find all of the missing parts, then you are done. So hopefully you remember doing this. So what happens is here with law of sines, we start to do the same idea where we solve the triangle, we find all the missing sides, except the difference now is that your triangle is no longer going to be a right triangle. Okay, so we won't be able to use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so now we will be um, solving triangles that are not right triangles. So non-right triangles are oblique triangles. Okay. So we need another method to solve. Okay. And that's where law of sines and law of cosines come in. Okay. And so you might be given something like this. This is not a right triangle, right? And so you would have to solve something, a triangle like this. Okay, so some methods. And that's what we're going to be focusing on here in chapter 7, law of sines. And law of cosines. Okay. All right, so let's start with law of sines. Okay, so again, we use law of sines when we have non-right triangles. Non-right triangles. So that's known as oblique triangles. Okay, and we use law of sines if you're given one of the following situations. Okay, so you're given either angle side, or you're given angle side angle. Okay, so angle side. So that looks like this, where you have angle, two consecutive angles, and then a side. So we could do angle side, or you could go the other direction, angle side. Okay, and then angle side angle, you would have angle, and then a side, and then angle. Okay, so these are the two situations where you would use law of sines. All right, and you can solve using the following ratios. So here is the law of sines. It says that the sine of A over A equals the sine of B over B. So you could set up this equation, and then you'll see here, you'll need at least 3 of these variables, right? In order to solve for one of the missing ones. Okay, so maybe you're given A, and B, or maybe this B, A, and this B, or maybe you're given B, and one of the A's, okay? Or maybe you're given A, let's see, I think that's all the different combinations. Okay, but it works also with C as well. So You can use C if you want. Okay. But again, you'll have to be given like 3 of these things, like either both B's and a C or both C's and a B. Okay. Um, there's 2 ways to write this. To me, so long as you have them set up in the same place. So you can either have your ratios set up so that all the signs are on the top, and all the lowercase letters, the sides are on the bottom, or you can flip them. Okay, so it doesn't matter. But you definitely don't have to memorize all 6. You just really need to remember the setup. Okay. And it doesn't matter which one you use. I guess to me, even if it doesn't matter which one you use. So to me, I just use the one where if I'm solving for a lowercase letter, then I'll use one of these. If I'm solving for an angle, uppercase letter, then I would use one of these. Okay. But it doesn't matter. You could still use one or the other. Okay. So let's take a look at some examples. Okay, so case 1. So let's do the case where you have angle side. Okay, so let's solve the triangle ABC given that A equals 30 degrees, B equals 70 degrees, and lowercase a is 8.0 centimeters. Okay. I always like to draw the triangle. That way I have a visual of it. So I just kind of do that. A, B, C. And then I label everything. So A is 30 degrees. B is 70. A is 8.0. Okay. And then I also like to do this since I'm solving for the whole triangle. I like to list all the things that I need. Okay. A is 30. So we already know that. B is 70. Okay. And A is 8.0. Okay. And here, we could see here that we could easily solve for C, angle C. We can use the fact that 100 C is equal to 180 degrees minus 30 degrees minus 70 degrees. Therefore, C equals 80. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and put that in. Okay. And so now we just need to find lowercase b, lowercase c. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do, let's do b. Okay. So let's do lowercase b. Okay. Oops. Let's go back to black. Okay. So lowercase b. All right. So here, so I have 2 A's and a B, so I can use my law of signs. Since I'm solving for lowercase b, I'll use the form that has the lowercases on the top. All right, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's just a preference. Okay, sine little b over sine 70 equals 8.0 over sine 30. Okay, and then here solving for b equals 8.0 times sine 70 over sine 30. Okay, and so lowercase b let's say it's roughly equal to 15.04 centimeters. And it looks like we just need two significant digits, so we'll go with 15. Okay, so we have 15 there. And then we can solve for c the same way. Okay, lowercase c. So lowercase c. So I'm going to do little c over sine 80 equals lowercase a, which is 8.0, over sine 30. Okay, so c equals sine, let me do the 8.0 first. 8.0 times sine 80 all over sine 30. And if I punch that into the calculator, make sure you're in degree mode. And c is roughly equal to 15.76 centimeters. And again, two significant digits, so we'll go with 16. We will go with 16 here. This should be in purple. Okay, so all the purple stuff is the stuff that we solve for. Okay, so that's how you would use it in the case where you have angle, side. Okay. I mean, if you just draw your triangle and you list it, you can see what you have, and you'll either be able to use law of sines or you won't. Okay, so like having to memorize, angle, side, angle, all of that stuff. You don't really need to, because like I said, when you set it up, you'll either have enough information to solve, or you won't have enough information. Okay. All right. Let's do the second case. Angle, side, angle. All right, so angle, side, angle. All right, let's find the missing parts. Find the missing parts of triangle ABC if, okay, B equals 34 degrees, C equals 82 degrees, and little a equals 5.6. 5.6 centimeters. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and draw this, see what we have here. A, B, C. A, we don't know. B is 34. C is 82. Little a is 5.6. Okay. And let's go ahead and do this. And we know B is given. C is given. And little a is given. Okay. And we don't know these. Whenever you have two angles, go ahead and solve for that third one. Okay. So let's go ahead and find angle A. All right, angle A. So we can do 180 minus 34 minus 82. Okay, so angle A is equal to 64. Okay, so we know that much. And then we see here, we only need these here, and we can easily set up our law of sines using A, and then the B's, and then A, and then the C's. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and solve for lowercase b. All right. So since I'm solving for lowercase b, I'll use the ones that are set up so the lowercase letters are in the numerator. So lowercase b, sine of 34 equals lowercase a over sine 64. Okay? And so solving for b equals 5.6 times sine 34 degrees over sine 64 degrees. So here b is roughly 3.48. How many significant digits do we have? 2, looks like. Okay, so that's going to be 3.5. Okay, so 3.5 for our final answer. Okay, because we are dealing with 2 significant digits, and so this rounds off to 3.5. All right, and let's do C. So lowercase c, we can do the same thing. So lowercase c over sine 82 equals lowercase, and really at this point it doesn't really matter which one you use. There's if I made a mistake between these two that I found between these two here that I found, I would say there's more error here, more possibility of an error here than there is here. So I would choose to set up my ratio using the A's instead of the B's. Okay, so 5.6 over sine 64. Okay, and so lowercase c is equal to 5.6 times the sine of 82 degrees all over sine 64 degrees. And that is roughly 6.17. But since we're doing 2 significant digits, we'll round this to 6.2. Okay, so 6.2. All right, so there you have it. You just set up your ratios and solve. Okay. If you have any questions about this, make sure you email me or text me. Okay, so in the next video, I just do a word problem if you want to see that.